So what are the dangers of being grounded without being open?
If I'm too grounded, I can actually get stuck. I can actually get deluded, because I can be grounded in an experience which, I can be grounded in a system which is of my own creation, so which can be a bit deluded actually. And even though it would seem that I'm pragmatic and rational and so on, I would still be stuck in this system which I have created.
And what are the dangers of openness without groundedness?
Well, over theorizing, over conceptualizing, over basically living in a fantasy world which is not consistent with my actual experience.
Okay, so let me amend all of that a little bit. All right, so you kind of ballpark this. But then consider that, you see, your grounded and openness are principles, not just words. And that you've applied what you heard of these principles to your frame of reference, you see, how you view things. You like to be a very rational guy, for example. Reason. And so you frame things in relationship to a grounded as being, rational and reason, and openness is like possibilities that you might not find in your reason. But now consider the principle applied irrelevant of whether you're rational, irrational, whether somebody's emotional, whether they think not, whatever. So I'm saying that the principle itself, being grounded, it's not a moral issue that we're talking about. I never talk about moral issues. I'm not promising that I'll never talk about moral issue. I'm saying when I do the work, I'm not talking about moral issues. I don't come from morality. Say, if I were to come from morality, I would consider, again, what is morality? How does it exist? What purpose does it serve? You understand? That's how that would fit into the work. Not as a moral system or something, or belief system or anything like that. See, so now the grounded aspect, grounded. So yeah, you're grounded in your experience, what you experience of as reality and real. You say, this is real, it's grounded, it's real, it's solid, it's the way it is. However you have that. Now, like I say, if you're a closed-minded person, you're very grounded. And you don't have to be rational at all. You could have a real absence of what we might call reason or logic in the common vernacular, and yet you're very grounded because you're quite certain of everything. So you're closed-minded. Yes, sir.
But it might still seem to me that I am applying logic in my own little field. I'm being logic. It's logical. It's rational from my own perspective.
Yeah, but you might not. Another person may not have even the idea of being rational.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? You might say, well, there's a reason there or something, or there's a rationality there or something, but they might not. See? And they just certain about the way the world works. This is the way things should be. This is the way they are. This is what it is. Shut up. You can't budge me. They're very grounded. You see, because they have great certainty about reality, but they've got no openness. There is no possibility, and there is no questioning. Saying without the openness, there's no questioning, there's no possibility for questioning, for investigation, for anything other than, what's the way you hold reality. So we're not trying to deny the way you hold reality or what you consider to be true. You want to be as honest as you can about that. And you want to ground your stuff, your discoveries, your insights. So there's something that, among other things, you take to action. There's something that becomes part of your experience. It's something that it operates now in you. It's not just an idea you had. This is not very useful. It's nice to have an idea now and then. And if an insight, you have an insight and it's just an idea that, you remember. And you say, oh, that was a good one. Okay, that's good, that's fine, it's nice. Insights are a lot of fun to have. But if it just remains an in, and it doesn't change anything here, in your perception, your thinking, your experience, right? If it doesn't change anything in relationship to life or you or whatever, then it's not very useful, is it? And more than, I read something in a book, okay, good. Had a philosophy class once, it's very interesting. See, so we want that aspect, for it to become real for you. And in here, we're not at all restricting this to anything ultimately true. Your experience is your experience of life, of you. What's ultimately true is just that's on the board. I mean, that's just okay. That's a question. What is ultimately true? But regardless what's ultimately true, you're going to live what you live. You're going to live your experience. Yes, sir.
So is it fair to say that groundedness is about certainty and openness is about uncertainty?
I wouldn't restrict it to that, just because, like I say, if you're looking for a simple, I mean, we already got the two words, right? Grounded and openness. You see, otherwise you could say certainty and uncertainty. So the principle is not quite that. And grounded applies more than just the human mind, too. This is what we're applying it to now. And then openness, as you yourself well know, founded on not knowing. Openness is now allows you to question, and to think in terms that are not just what you're certain about. For example, so you can't contemplate without openness. It can't be done. This is why one of the major features of the technique that you do in your CCEs is openness. It's pretty much openness and intent, which is kind of like the grounded and open, right? See, openness and intent. You want to really, you intend to grasp what's true in this moment, and you're open. So, and those seem to fly in the face of each other. You're focused and on purpose. At the same time, you're wide open and you don't know. And this has power. See, when you do both. A lot of times people do not do both. They seek out knowledge alone, or certainty, or a quick answer, or some such thing. Or they're closed-minded or whatever. But they're not open. Or the danger, once again, about being open is, like I say, becoming airy-fairy, going into all sorts of fantasies, being too low. Well, anything's possible. What good is that? What good is that? Anything's possible. It's not. In your experience, everything is not possible. There's huge amounts of stuff that's not possible. Now, you can entertain the notion of some possibility or other. That'd be fine. But it's false to say everything is possible or anything is possible. And so also it keeps you from getting into, so you get lopsided in that way. Or you're just going to open up and nothing's going to touch your experience, for example. It's not going to be grounded in reality or you see? It's just going to be pretty much, probably, abstractions, ideas, good thoughts or whatever, you see. Fantasies, images, whatnot. and then pretense. And we don't want to fall into that. See? We don't want to be into just pretending, fantasizing, entertaining all sorts of wild, possibilities that are ill-founded and a waste of time. See, maybe something is useful to investigate. It's always useful to investigate stuff. But if in your own real, which is a grounded estimation, it's a waste of time, then why go spend a lot of time with it? See? And he's like, no, this is not going to happen. So we balance both.
Hi, I'm Brendan Lee, and I've been studying with Peter Ralston for 20 years. I really want you to know that no matter how many videos you watch or books you read, it pales in comparison to the power of the live workshops that we host here at the center or on Zoom. If you want to get serious and do work that makes a real difference, please check the links in the description to learn more. Thank you.